channeling a spell. This is going to be a Fire Raga. It doesn't kill somehow, and it kills Naiads to land a kill. Oh my god! Here, apparently not, because she is going for the back line. This is instant casting. Might have a chance. It is it. Oh no! What's up, everybody? My name is Kason, and welcome back to the WDL. This is not just any WDL video, as it is the final video of Season 4. It is the Grand Championship of the Champions League, and it doesn't get any better than this. We already have 3 champions of the Heinler, Rundal, and Wazette leagues, but this one is going to hit a little different because this is 12 of the best players that War Divisions has to offer, and it is down to the final 2. We have the 1-seeded Sandrooster, Unicorn Gunfight 2, Electric Boogaloo, facing off against the 2-seed Maverick, coach of Symphony of the Knights. 2 Get Swifties going at it in the grand finals. I wouldn't have it any other way. The 1-seeded Unicorn Gunfight, they have been riding on the back of that Mace team. Mashri Horn, the Summer Catone, and Ildira been putting in so much work all season long. But let's not forget about the Summer Glassy and McLeod team, who also stole a couple of really big wins throughout the season. On the other side, though, Symphony of the Knights, very clear MVP of not only this league but others is that Halloween Lucio, but Grifford also been putting so much work in. The Montleonis, the Cyrell, and even the Chunak in some spots has done some really good work for Maverick. I'm excited to see what teams we are going to see from these 2 competitors. I expect an absolute bloodbath. It should be awesome, and it is going to be a best of 3, not a best of 5, which means 2 wins is going to claim the Grand Championship for the Champions League of Season 4 WDL. Let's jump into it. The Season 4 Champions League finals are about to kick off, and we are ready to go, and it looks like we're ready to engage as the Chunak is going to start off with an AoE buff, a big old physical health shield on the side of Halloween Lucio, and there is Montleonis to back them up. That is the team coming out from Symphony of the Knights, as it looks like Sandrooster is not opting for the full Mace team. It is the Ice Water team, as the Unfailing Maiden comes out alongside the Victoria and the McLeod. Arrow Shield Melody popping here. There was already a Keen Blade being utilized, and this is going to be an interesting fight here. They're starting on the exact same side of the map, so it shouldn't take too long for the fight to kick off here. Victoria is going to start getting that Dragonkin rolling, so she has Protect, which could help. However, there is some protective spell on the other side. The Ebb and Flow barrier coming in, going to give Glaciella a nice 1-hit barrier. However, Chunak is known for his slash chaining, which means a 1-hit barrier really doesn't matter that much, as he does a decent amount of damage, and Halloween Lucio is about to chain up with this. This is going to be a 3-hit slash chain and could be a good chunk of damage. King of the Dead comes in for 7,800. It almost pops the Glaciella here. She just barely survives and gets a bit of a heal back. The Revitalize is here for McLeod, but this is bad news for Sandrooster here, as Montleonis now comes in with a Killer Drain Blade. The reaction comes off. He heals back a little bit, though. This is a fully healthy team from Maverick, and Glaciella is about to go down here. Sealing Cleave is going to proc the Courage, so she might get one more turn as the Frost Reaver comes in, but there is a double dodge, and the team is too evasive on the side of Symphony of the Knights right now. Chunak is going to chop that Glaciella's head off, and Maverick is in a huge advantage at the moment. The standard attack comes through just to pop that 100% barrier for the Victoria. The Binding Javelin is going to get sidestepped, though, and Halloween Lucio is just popping off with the haste. 10,000 damage coming down. He just gets so many turns. It is so oppressive, and this is a really rough start for Sandrooster in game number 1. The Destiny's Cross coming out from Montleonis. The Limit Break 2650 is not a lot of damage, but it gives him so much utility, and the Razor's Edge from Chunak is going to clean it up. And I will be honest with you guys, I did not expect a fight this one-sided in game number 1 here. Obviously, the full Mace team not coming out from Sandrooster, but the evasion was on point, the damage was on point, and everything was rolling for Symphony of the Knights in game 1. I have to imagine the Mace team is going to come out in game 2. I can't imagine that Sandrooster would go down in 2 games without bringing that team out, but we are going to jump into game number 2 and see. Jumping into game number 2 of the grand finals of Champions League. And it looks like Maverick is ready to engage again with the exact same team he brought to game 1, but this is the Mace team from Sandrooster. It is probably the strongest team we saw all season. Can it make things work here? The Calamity Stronghold is going to come out. This nullifies so many status effects. It gives good boosts in terms of stats, and a one-hit barrier to boot. This buff is absolutely cracked. A huge physical HP shield is obviously not going to matter a whole lot for Lucio, but it gives him a lot of other things as well. Gives him some nice stats. He is ready to dispel as well, so it is huge here, as it looks like that limit break coming out from the Ildira. The CT up is massive, which means Mashri is going to get to buff again. Just kidding, she doesn't have another buff ready to go. Oceanic Protection coming out from the Mont. This is fire and water resistance, which is going to be useful against both the Ildira and the Summer Ketone, but there is that Wind Veritas TMR, and this could be huge if Halloween Lucio ends up going for his own TMR, and honestly, just as damage mitigation and AP mitigation, it is huge. Only 55 on the side of Chunak, so he smartly is going to buff again, which means he has guaranteed hit nullification, and that could be huge as there are some guaranteed hits on the other side. The Halloween Lucio is going to kick things off again though with a limit break, just like fight number 1. How fast is it going to make him? 960 damage is almost nothing. There's so much AoE resist on this Summer Ketone. However, the haste could be big, as the Hallowed Ray coming out from the Mashri is going to start kicking things off. Ildira is up next, but it looks like she is not in range to deal damage, or she doesn't have those spells turned on. I'm not entirely sure, as the Ketone's swim ring attack comes out. This big old limit break gets dodged by the Chunak, but puts the Mont to sleep, which honestly is pretty huge, because that means he cannot move away from his other damage dealers, and he cannot chain up on this Summer Ketone. The Spell Slam will get rid of the haste, however, which could be pretty huge. Can Chunak get rid of her? Blade of the Fatal Waltz, this should deal a good bit of damage, I would think. Oh my goodness, about 4,500 on the full slash chain, but I think this Summer Ketone is going to live. The Height 2 Kiraga comes in, and it fully heals Summer Ketone, and now that asleep Mont looks massive, because I think with the chain, I think she probably would have died. That Hallowed Ray comes in, he is no longer asleep, but Halloween Lucio is quickly running out of AP. He only has 11 left after that Dispel Slam here. Mont Leonis, what is he going to get to do? He's actually going to go backline. Now, this could be helpful for Maverick, because it is going to get the limit break up. Just a little bit of damage is also going to give him that self-heal, but I am worried about Maverick's AP bars at the moment. That fully asleep Mont might change the turn of this fight. The Bursting Light going to come out. He's going to fully heal himself way back up. Chunak is ready to go with a sneak attack, 6,100, which also gives himself some nice AP, and maybe, just maybe, Maverick's team can take out Summer Ketone, but no, the Killer Drain Blade goes into the Mashri, and now is this damage mitigation, or is there some hate on this Mashri? Is there hate? I don't know how that would be possible, because Summer Ketone and her have already been bouncing off these attacks. Oh my goodness, the Knight's Blessing comes out. There's almost no heal from this. The barrier could be useful, and honestly, Ildira, I think, is about to fully heal them right now anyway. The Height 2 Kiraga comes up, and this Mace team is just ridiculous. It is so hard to take them out. Bursting Light coming out, 2,000 on the Mont and 3,000 onto the Lucio. Chunak up the bat with 28 AP. The Break Flurry does about 4k, but it's just brutal. It is so hard to get through this team because Ildira just heals forever. These are fully healthy units at the moment. There's too much AoE and unit resistance. Unless you can fully chain one down, that is pretty much the only way you can win, and that is Sleep Mont, I think, is the difference in this fight right now. The Unavailable Pain comes out. Mont does get chipped a little bit, but there's just nowhere near enough damage to be able to win this game anymore. Maverick needs all 3 units alive, and he needs to be able to chain it. At this moment, he's not going to be able to. The standard attack is going to come through. 16 actions left. My only question is this going to go to turns? Because Chunak has moves like Jagger out here, but I don't think he has enough damage to pop any one of these units as the Hallowed Ray comes out for 5k. Mashri is dealing good damage, and the Summer Ketone with the Unavailable Pain hits the Mont. And this is such an awkward fight because there's been so many times where on both sides, units go between one unit to the other because it does more damage, but it doesn't kill them, which is just super awkward. The damage distribution comes out and it even misses the Chunak. Killer Drain Blade does a little bit, but there's just no way. 10 actions left. The Limit Break is going to come out from Mashri. This is not something you get to see every day. The Radiant Twin Strike. This Limit Break got a lot of upgrades from what it originally came out. It used to be a physical strike attack. Not anymore. Height 2 Holy coming out from the Ildira. She is at least accurate enough to hit the Mont. Just not that dodgy water attacker here as the Chaotic Voice comes out. This is the Dark Siren. And the Dark Siren can be really nice as well because it does give some debuff effect weakening, which can be pretty massive. The Chunak coming out with the standard attack does a good chunk to the Ildira. With only 4 actions left, I think we all know what is about to happen in this battle, and that means we are going to be heading to a game 3. And now the question is, what can Maverick do to get through this? I think the big thing is, especially with all that healing and the Win Veritas TMR, it is hard to not run out of AP. I think the only way that Maverick can win this fight is to take out one of the mace units early, and then in a 3v2 can probably win that from that point on. If he's going to be able to do that, though, is another huge question, as Sandrooster picks up a huge Game 2 win, bringing this to game point. The Champions League, I would have it absolutely no other way, is going to come down to one single fight. The winner of the next one is going to claim the Champions title for the Champions League. Honestly, this is just incredible. Sandrooster versus Maverick. We have one more fight. Let's go. Heading into the final game of WDL Season 4. This is it. It is the full Mace team versus the full Axe team. These are the two teams that we've seen the most throughout the season, and they're going off against each other. Which one is going to get the better end of the deal, though, as it looks like multiple buffs coming out from the Mace team before the Axes ever get to act. But we'll see how it goes. Axeman's Ward is going to be first, so Grifford looking like the fastest unit on the side of Maverick at the moment, and Axeman's adaptability. Obviously, those physical health shields are here. They're not really going to matter. It's just about the buffs that come with them, as the Oceanic Protection is going to be a buff that actually can quite matter a lot for the Ildira and the Catone. That Ildira limit break, though, is nothing to mess with. Honestly, this limit break is one of the best in the entire game at this moment, I think. With the amount of damage mitigation and the CT up, it is just huge. But Ildira going into attack mode right away, 1600 damage and dropping that reaction block rate. Interesting. I wonder if that is what Sandrooster wants to see, as the Sorceress's Liberation coming out. So the Dark Fina TMR being utilized here, as Spear Piercing rate is up for the Catone. Ildira, if she is off in no man's land, this could be bad news. She is the healer, as the Lupine Rend coming through, and that is being utilized because of that one-hit barrier. But we'll have to see how this goes here. It looks like Halloween Lucio just going to get a buff, so he is not in range. And as much as I thought that Ildira was out too far, Grifford might be the one who's actually out too far at the moment. As the Disrupting Axe Throw comes in for Cyrell, it's so much damage, but Lucio's not in range to follow up with this, I don't think. The Limit Break coming out from Catone, how much damage is it going to do to the Grifford? It's the Elemental Advantage. 3,300 is not bad. However, I will say he did not fall asleep, which means he's going to get another opportunity, but Ildira's heals are instant, and she is back up to full health. And that is bad news for Symphony of the Knights here. Grifford, though, is ready to go. They are all stacked up for a massive limit break. This is going to be an AoE resist debuff, which could be huge as the fight continues to go on. Not a lot of damage, though. Halloween Lucio needs to get in here, but he is still buffing at the moment. He has still not done any damage. Hallowed Ray comes in for 3,400, and Grifford is ready to fall, as the Summer Catone should be able to clean him up. No, yes, I thought he was just targeting the Cyrell for a second, but it does hit the Grifford. He is going to drop, and now this Mace team, with all the heals in the world, is at a 3v2 advantage, and I think Sandrooster can taste the championship at this moment. Cyrell is ready with 52 AP, but there's so many turns before Halloween Lucille gets to go next. Terror Slash is actually a good bit of damage, a nice tech by Maverick, because it's not an AoE attack, it's a unit attack resist attack. But here comes Catone. How much damage is she going to do? Bursting Light. It does not take out the Cyrell. She might get one more opportunity. And speaking of one more opportunity, this is it for the Halloween Lucio. If he can get the haste and outspeed the enemy, there might just be a chance. It just barely doesn't take out the Mashari and the Catone. They just barely survive. That surely would have been the end for Sandrooster if he was able to take them out. I'm looking at the turn order. Ildira is going to go next. Did the healing power down change anything? No, the Hide to Kiraga is just a full heal on the entire team, and unless Lucio stands still and chains with himself, I don't think he's going to be able to do anything. Mashari is just bulky enough to survive one attack, and she follows up with the limit break, and it looks like Sandrooster is going to try and go out in style here. Halloween Lucio is going to try his damnedest. He's been the MVP all season. If anybody could turn around, it is him, as it looks like there is a missed attack, and hold on just a second. No AP for Summer Catone and no guaranteed hits. That's the problem, though, is there's so many heals for this Ildira. Halloween Lucio needs to be able to one-shot somebody to have a chance, and he's got plenty of AP to do it, but he needs to stand still and somehow go back-to-back. and I just don't think there's a chance in hell that he can get that opportunity. The Dark Siren Esper is going to come in. The Chaotic Voice for 1800 damage. The Esper map effect is here. Ildira might be in attack mode, but I don't think she's accurate enough to hit. She's just going to go for the Win Veritas TMR again. And here comes the Mashari. She has a guaranteed hitter. She is ready to seal this deal. No, she just messes with me by going with the Calamity Stronghold. The one-hit barrier is on the entire team here. And Summer Catone, maybe, just maybe, goes for the standard attack and misses again. Halloween Lucio is making a statement and says, I don't know if I can win this fight, but you can't bring me down. The Dispel Slam for 2400 is so little damage. Every time I see this Mace team, I am shocked at how tanky it is, but this is ridiculous. The Calamity Stronghold coming out again. The Maces can't hit the Lucio. Will they be able to kill him, or will this be a win on a 3v1 just surviving? I think that is probably the more likely scenario here. Summer Catone tries again, but cannot make contact. And the last action is Maverick's last stand with Halloween Lucio. Mortal draw for 1500 damage. He will not die, but he will lose, as the winner is Sandrooster of Unicorn Gunfight to Electric Boogaloo. Sandrooster has been wanting this for so long. It took him 4 seasons, but not only is he the champion, he's the winner of the Champions League. The 12 best players that we've had in the WDL through the first 3 seasons, all going up against each other, and Sandrooster is standing above all of them. Honestly, so incredibly well deserved. Both of these players are absolutely amazing, and their teams were fantastic. But Sandrooster, at the end of the day, is the grand champion of Season 4. All of the fights of Season 4 are over and done with here, guys, for the WDL. This is the end of the Champions League, and the first ever Champions League winner is none other than the editor of this video. It is Sandrooster, an absolute GOAT of War of the Visions. This dude is obviously an amazing player, and he has gotten better every single season. I remember in Season 1, he just barely squeaked into the playoffs as the 6th seed. I don't think he won a single game in the playoffs. This season number 2, I think he ended up as the 3 seed in our Rundall division. Again, didn't make have a playoff win. In season number 3, he ended up winning his entire division and made it all the way into the semifinals, which was, at that point, the biggest tournament we had was 40 players. And in this one, with 12 amazing players, some of the ones that had done the best over the first 3 seasons, he managed to come out on top from all of that. And honestly, it's just really, really impressive, especially over a team like Maverick's Symphony of the Nights, who has been dominating people all season. Huge shout out to Maverick as well, as he did phenomenal. I mean, Maverick did pretty well the last 2 seasons. He made the playoffs in one of them, didn't in the other, but his record was always really good in both seasons. This one, though, I mean, he just came out swinging. We've seen him do so much work in Friday Night Fights multiple times. It's not surprising because this guy is just an absolute beast of a player. But man, with so many huge names in this league, for Sandrooster to come out on top, huge congratulations to him. I know he's got to be excited. I know he has got to be pumped about this. But man, this is it, guys. This is the end of Season 4. Just Sandrooster, the big bird, is going to be wearing a crown, and it's going to be really, really awesome to see. Going to get some fancy new Discord titles for these 2 players. But honestly, before we close this video out, I just wanted to say a couple of things and a couple of really huge thank yous. First of all, I just wanted to say thank you to all of the people who watch these videos who aren't actually even players in the league. For those of you guys that tune into this almost every single day, or even at least every single week, there's a lot of you guys, and honestly, that just means the world to me. I'm really appreciative of the fact that people actually want to watch the content I put out. It means a lot to me because this is the content, that I enjoy. I enjoy making Draft League videos, whether it's this or Pokemon or whatever. That's the stuff that I enjoy doing. So for everybody who watches that, just know that I really appreciate that. And a couple of big thank yous to people in the league. First of all, every single player in the Champions League here who did really well all season. All of them were just really professional and respectful, like all season long. Good timings with submitting their videos. This entire league was just not only on the battlefield, but just as people. Basically a really good showcase of how to be a good person and player. And it was just really awesome to see. Spike in the Discord, he did not play this season in the WDL, but he is an admin and a moderator in our Discord. He puts does so much work behind the scenes with different spreadsheets. He basically sets it up so that we can do our draft every single season. Without him, I honestly would struggle with the draft process. That is a very hands-on part for him. So especially earlier in the season, huge shout out to Spike for helping with that. And honestly, for just being helpful in our Discord. For anybody who watches this and is not part of our Discord, feel free to join it. I'll try and remember to put the description down below in the video. But it's an awesome place to just come hang out and just talk War of the Visions, and honestly, even other games as well. And a massive shout out, probably the biggest thank you, to Sandrooster as well. Obviously the guy who is now the champion of this league. But he edited every single Champions League video except for maybe week 1. I don't remember if he was doing it in week 1, but pretty much all season long, he was the one doing this. If you really appreciate the animated, like choose your character, like battle style graphics or little animations, that's all Sandrooster. I did not really do any of that. I made the little circle graphics, but he did all of the animation of that. It looks phenomenal. And honestly, putting out 4 videos a week for the WDL, especially coordinating with other people to get them to send that all in, I'm not gonna lie, is a lot of work. And for Sandrooster even just to take one of those videos off my hands for the editing purposes is honestly really awesome. And I feel like it put a little special flavor or spice on the Champions League videos compared to what some of the other ones are. And honestly, Champions League is something that people are trying to strive for. So it was really cool for that to happen. So thank you very much, Sandrooster, again, for everything you've done this season. So with that being said, like I said, I'm just very appreciative to everybody who watches, everybody in the Discord, all these amazing people that I've met through this. I'll be honest, guys, for a long time, even since before season 1 of the WDL, like I've quit War of the Visions twice, and I've came back because of this type of stuff. I'm really only still playing this game because of the community. And it's funny I say that because I'm literally like running one of the biggest things, like one of these big leagues in the community. But legitimately, without all the people, I don't think this would be special, like, or nearly as cool as it is. So all of the people who have just been a part of this, every single player in every league, every person who watches, just a huge thank you to all you guys. So yeah, I'm very thankful. One last thing before I let you go, I just want to be transparent. I am going to be taking a break from War of the Visions content. I do this pretty much after every season. After so many weeks of doing, shoutcasting and editing and all that kind of stuff, I need a break. So just as a heads up, don't expect this to come out, or season 5 to come out right away. I don't know when that is. I'm not even going to put a date on it because I don't want to put a constraint on myself, but just know that I'm going to be taking a break after this season. And if you are looking for content like this, again, I've mentioned it before, please check out the Wotive Blind Enthusiast League. It is another league where a lot of players are going to be facing off against each other, and I am going to be a player in that league. So come, cheer any of the, your favorite players who are from here that are in that league on, and maybe some new faces that you don't know. So yeah. Anyway, guys, it's been an awesome season. It's been really ridiculous. I still can't believe how big this league has gotten. And it's just really awesome. So thanks, everybody. Again, I know I've said that like 20 times, but that's pretty much all I got to say. Huge congratulations to our new Season 4 Grand Champion, Sandrooster, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a wonderful day.